You ever feel like your hobbies could save your life? Me neither, until that hike. It started as a simple trip. Me, Alina, my girlfriend, Max, and his girlfriend Lily. A hike to escape our dull routines, breathe some fresh air, and maybe take a few selfies. I was the odd one out, the comic freak of the group. Always carrying a comic or two in my backpack while they teased me about my childish obsessions. We reached a hilltop late afternoon when the sun started dipping behind the mountains. That's when we stumbled upon the house. It wasn't just old, it was ancient, with ivy clawing up its crumbling walls and shattered windows gaping like empty eyes. I should have known better. Every comic I'd ever read screamed, "Don't go in." But curiosity is a cruel thing, and Max, he always loved a dare. "Let's check it out," he said, already pushing the creaky door open before anyone could argue. The inside was just as you'd imagine, dusty, rotting wood, a faint stench of mildew. We made ourselves comfortable in what seemed like a dining room. It was stupid, but we were all hungry after hours of hiking, so we pulled out our food. Max had packed sandwiches, Lily brought some salad, Alina shared her pasta, and me? I had my trusty garlic bread. They laughed at me, as usual, calling it grandpa food, but I didn't care. After eating, Max suggested exploring the place. That's when we found it, the basement. The stairs creaked under our weight, and I could feel the chill even before we reached the bottom. It was darker than night down there, but Lily found the light switch. When the bulb flickered to life, we saw it, an old, wooden box sitting in the middle of the room, surrounded by faint scratch marks on the floor. Max opened it, of course. Inside were costumes, real elaborate ones. There was a Dracula cape, a zombie outfit, a killer nurse uniform, a witch's hat and robes, and one odd one, a schoolboy's outfit, complete with shorts, a tie, and knee-high socks. "Nick, this one's for you." Max laughed, holding up the schoolboy costume. The others joined in, egging me on to wear it. "You're all insane," I said, shaking my head. But they didn't stop. Lily slipped into the killer nurse uniform, Max threw on the Dracula cape, and Alina took the witch's hat and robes. I didn't want to, but the peer pressure got to me. They kept teasing until I caved and put on the schoolboy outfit. That's when everything changed. It started with Lily. She clutched her stomach, doubling over. I feel weird," she whispered, her voice sharp and cold. When she looked up, her eyes weren't hers anymore. They were wild, cruel, like she'd stepped out of a slasher movie. Max was next. His laugh turned guttural, his teeth sharper. I swear, fangs replaced his canines. Alina didn't even say a word, she just grinned wickedly, her voice dropping an octave as she muttered something I couldn't understand. Then they turned to me. They weren't my friends anymore. Lily lunged at me first, scalpel in hand. Where did she even get that? I barely ducked in time. Max hissed, his new fangs glinting in the dim light. Alina watched, her eyes glowing faintly, as though waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I ran. It wasn't even heroic. I bolted up the stairs and slammed the door behind me, but they were faster. Lily scratched at the door, laughing that bone-chilling laugh. I ran to the kitchen, desperate for anything to protect myself. That's when I remembered, my garlic bread. Comics had taught me one thing, garlic and vampires don't mix. When Max came crashing through the door, I shoved a piece of garlic bread right into his face. He screamed, his skin blistering as if the bread were acid. Lily wasn't far behind. I grabbed an iron rod lying in the corner, it looked like part of an old curtain rack, and swung wildly. The iron hit her shoulder, and she howled, backing off. I didn't know why it worked, but I didn't have time to question it. Alina was the worst. She didn't attack right away. She waited, watching the others fight amongst themselves. I think some part of their humanity was still there because they turned on each other. Max went for Lily, biting her neck. Lily retaliated, stabbing him through the chest. Alina just laughed as they destroyed each other. When it was just the two of us, she spoke. "Nick, Help me, please. It's me. Her voice, her face, it was Alina. My Alina. I hesitated, and that's when she lunged. I didn't have a choice. I drove the iron rod through her chest, tears streaming down my face. She let out a guttural scream, her face twisting into something monstrous before she crumpled to the floor. I stumbled out of the house, covered in blood and shaking like a leaf. When I found the cops and brought them back, the house was empty. No bodies. No blood. No costumes. Just an old, dusty house. They didn't believe me. Why would they? My story sounded insane. But without evidence, they couldn't do anything. I was free, but I'd lost everything. I couldn't let it go. Weeks later, I returned to the house. I searched every inch of that basement, every creaky corner. But the box, the costumes, they were gone. And now? I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see their faces, twisted, monstrous, hunting me. I keep telling myself it wasn't my fault, that I couldn't have known. But deep down, I wonder, what if I had just stayed away from that house? Some hobbies aren't meant to save you. They're meant to haunt you.